This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, Rehabilitation Hospital of New England. North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree. And Leo Inc., your local community action agency.
Happy 2024 and welcome to the first news broadcast of the year. We have a lot to catch up on between the inauguration of new city representatives and fundraisers for a variety of causes. The Lowdown directs our attention to the Public Library, complete with their history and plans for this next year. Here is the news for Friday, January 5th, 2024. Lynn Peabody and State Police arrested 18-year-old Delvin Sanchez in connection with the December 26 shooting, which left 3 severely injured. Sanchez was located in Peabody and arrested on charges of armed assault to murder, accessory before the fact, and accessory after the fact. Since the 2 separate shootings on Camden and State Streets, the Lynn Police Department Criminal Investigation Unit, Gang Unit, and Patrol Unit are working with state and federal law enforcement agencies to add resources to these investigations and increase patrols in the city. LPD are asking anyone with information on either shooting to contact them. A candlelight vigil was held on the steps of City Hall on the 2nd, a week after a shooting which took the lives of a 16 and 19-year-old student from Lynn Classical. Several fundraisers have been organized to help with funeral arrangements and to buy a brick for Classical in the victim's memory. Teachers and students were in attendance, as well as Mayor Nicholson and other government officials, with several speaking to the crowd. Dozens of people gathered on the steps of City Hall for a candlelight vigil on Wednesday the 3rd for peace in response to 2 shootings which occurred last week, with the latter taking the life of 2 classical students. Attendees held candles and stood in solidarity for the victims. Speakers included classical teacher Mike Hurley, who organized the vigil, and Mayor Gerald Nicholson, both of whom emphasized the need to come together to combat community violence for a more peaceful city. The family of Isaiah Acevedo marched down the street holding flags and posters full of family images, imploring both the police and the community to help them locate the perpetrators.
Lynn Classical this, that, and the third, but you guys ain't doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. Nothing at all. I'm his uncle. That was my baby.
You don't have to say your name. You don't have to just remain anonymous and speak up. This family needs justice. Speak up.
Acevedo was 16 and the other victim, Kyle Mell, was 19, both described as kind, good people. To conclude the vigil, candles were placed around the flagpole next to City Hall, sporting the names of the victims and signs of love for the boys. For LCTV News, I'm Dani Vittori. Last Tuesday the 2nd, the city swore in 5 new members, 3 counselors, and 2 school committee members. This is now the most diverse council in the city's history, as 5 of the 11 counselors are people of color. Obed Matul is the first Latino to be elected, both in Ward 2 and the city as a whole. Natasha Meji-Madre is the first Afro-Latino counselor, Nicole McLean the first female African-American counselor, and Andrea Satterwhite the first woman of African-American descent on the school committee. Dr. Peter Meany filled the final remaining spot for newcoming counselors as Sean Reed officially joined the ranks in the school committee. Current President Jay Walsh and Vice President Diana Chakoudas were unanimously re-elected to continue these roles. Here's a clip from the ceremony.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as City Councilor of the City of Lynn, according to the best of my ability and understanding. And I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will uphold and affirm and defend the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So help me God.
The full inauguration ceremony is available on our website, lyntv.org. To begin this new year, the City of Lynn is switching to a fully electronic resident parking system. Residents go online and use an email and copy of the registration in the online permit portal. A fee of $20 will be charged for each permit, with visitor passes free of charge. Up to 4 vehicles can be registered to an address, as well as 2 visitor passes for visitors using on-street parking. This only applies to areas that have existing residential parking. If you do not live on a street with residential parking, this doesn't apply to you. For municipal parking lots, it is a fee of $1 per hour or $5 per day. Monthly permits can also be purchased for the Andrew or Buffum lots, $50 for a day pass from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., or a night pass, 6 p.m. to 7 a.m., or $100 for a 24-hour pass. At the inception of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund in 2022, $3 million of ARPA funds were placed in the trust. Since then, $2.2 million have been invested to increase affordable housing options in Lynn. This includes $1.25 million to the preservation of affordable housing and the acquisition of Olympia Square apartments, where 30 to 40 units, 10 parking spaces, and 2,000 square feet in commercial space will be built in an adjacent parking lot. Another $509,000 went to the Latino Support Network for the completion of 6 income-restricted homeownership condos, $400,000 for a housing program manager, and the final $75,000 designated to the CASA project, a 36-unit development with 8 units at or below 30% area median income and the remaining at 50% or below the AMI. Councilor-at-Large Nicole McLean has unveiled the community members who will make up the 12-person Lynn Youth and Adolescent Task Force. They come from all walks of life, including high school students, educators, artists, and nonprofit members. Their 2 main initiatives are after-school programming and workforce development, while working directly with the youth affected by the policies. At this time, McLean said the goal is to identify the most prominent issues for youth and come up with potential solutions. The creation of this council has been in the works since April of last year, with the ultimate goal to inform a council for young adults in the future. On the line, the sports update. Less than a mile may separate St. Mary's and Tech, but the Spartans ran away to an 80-18 final, capturing the Walter J. Boverini Girls Championship. By halftime, St. Mary's had taken a 49-3 lead, but according to head coach Jeff Newell, they need to continue working every day to get better. St. Mary's moved the ball well, penetrating the Tigers' defense, quick no-look passes, and attacking the basket on offense. Tech never gave up, though, getting better ball movement and looks in the second half. Spartan Bella Owuni earned the MVP nod for the tournament, sinking 20 points and 17 rebounds. As a freshman, she already has offers to play for BC and URI. Neither her nor her team show signs of stopping, upping their record to 9-0, defeating another top 15 team in Bridgewater Raymond 61-48 on the second. The boys' game had a similar result, but a drastically different battle, with St. Mary's hanging on for the 59-57 victory. Tech held the lead by as much as 15, 19-6 in the first, and 26-24 at halftime, and the Spartans did not take their first lead until late in the third quarter. St. Mary's built a 4-point lead with 2 minutes remaining and left the door open, but down 2 with 3 seconds remaining, the Tigers could not cleanly inbound the ball, resulting in a Spartans win. J.J. Martinez was the MVP of the contest, recording 17 points and 10 rebounds, followed closely by teammate Kyle Rush, who knocked down 15. Despite foul trouble and the final score, Tech played hard, battling until the final buzzer. In another rivalry game, the boy Bulldogs trampled the Rams 78-58, leading by as many as 27 in the third. Glasgow went on an 18-4 run to end that quarter at 61-48, but a 15-6 run by English put the game away. The Rams lost a tight one, 53-50 against Somerville, where the final 3-point attempt came up short. Whereas the Bulldogs won again, 78-62 in enemy territory over Chelsea, moving to 6-2 on the year. Their Bulldog counterparts also took down the green and gold 56-45, with 3 players scoring in double digits, led by Jalen Perry with 20. The host school of last week's tournament, where they lost in the first round, came into this game firing on all cylinders, including 6 3-pointers. Gip girls had a more mixed bag, losing to the Minutemen 47-26, but rebounding with a 53-35 win over Notre Dame at home. In another inner-city rivalry game, Lynn Tech took down the Kip boys 59-57. The Panthers had the chance to tie the game with 3.5 seconds remaining, but could not execute their inbound play, resulting in the same score as the tournament, but this time the Tigers came out on top. For the Classical girls, they continue to improve, taking down Somerville 44-11 and preventing the Highlanders from scoring at all in the third quarter. Lynn Jets hockey came close, but no celebration and a 5-4 loss to the Minutemen. 4 different players recorded goals for Lynn. St. Mary's boys also fell to a top-ranked team, the Xavier brothers, 2-0. The Spartans thought they scored first, but an icing call and subsequent penalty allowed Xavier to take a 1-0 lead off the power play. They put another one in from the corner in the third to seal the game. The Celtics continued their dominant season, winning 4 of their last 5 games for a 26-7 record and remaining 2 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks for first place in the East. Kristaps Porzingis has been a nice surprise, scoring 34 in a 127-123 loss to the Oklahoma Thunder. Jason Tatum came back from an ankle injury with a bang, scoring 25 and 30 in the last 2 games. Flipping to the cooler side of the Garden, the Bruins are riding a 4-game win streak, beginning the new year in the same way they ended 2023, with the 5-3 win over the New Jersey Devils on the 31st and a 4-1 stomping of the Columbus Blue Jackets on the 2nd. Representatives from the Lynn Public Library joined us on the Lowdown to discuss programming for the upcoming year and the importance of the library for the larger community. This coupled with their own personal experiences and what is involved in their role. Here's the Lowdown. Good afternoon and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on both the head of adult circulation and the director/chief librarian from the Lynn Public Library. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So first things first, would you mind introducing yourselves and giving a quick overview of what your job involves?
I'm Theresa Hurley. I'm the director of the library, and there's a lot of hats that I wear. Just pretty much management of the library and cheering on my great staff that does so much work for the library.
Awesome.
And I am Lindsey Robert. I'm head of adult circulation, so I'm responsible for the adult collection, so the adult portion of our books and movies, things like that. I'm also responsible for adult programming and coordinating that as well, and helping patrons at our main desk.
Great. It's fun librarying because you have so many programs that you run. And Theresa, you were actually telling me about it before we went on camera, how many you had last year. It was over 300?
About 347 programs with over 5,000 people attending. And that's from all ages, birth till 100.
That's remarkable how much you've really grown and shown it. And I don't know if you want to talk about any of your winter reading program, so how that was going?
Yeah, so coming up we'll start a winter reading program. This is something we've done the last few years at least. It kind of mimics our summer reading program. It's just something to do through the winter and keep people reading. So it'll probably run from sometime in January through March, and we'll have prizes for reading. All you have to do is read whatever you like, write reviews, or for children you'll log how much you read, and at the end of the program we'll give away a prize for the adult department, for the young adult department, and for the children's department.
Well, that sounds like fun. I love reading, but I'll admit I don't have as much time as I used to, so that could be a fun incentive to do it. And, you know, I always talk about library cards. You also have a system that does e-cards, so you don't need something like a physical card. Is that how that works?
Correct. So that's a new program. Noble has instituted that. So Noble is the consortium that we belong to with the other North Shore libraries. So they put together an e-card program now, so patrons can, or I guess potential patrons, because ideally you wouldn't be a patron yet, but you go to the website, there's a form you fill out, it verifies your address, and it'll send you an email with a e-card number. And you'll be able to use that number to access ebooks and e-audio through Libby or Overdrive. And you can also access other online resources with the e-card. And then if you decide one day you want it to be more of a traditional card, all you have to do is stop by the library with proof of your address. We'll get you a physical card, and from there you'll be able to check out physical books at the library.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
I can use the library without even coming to the library.
I mean, it works.
Yeah, we have lots of online programs that the e-card would work for. Freegal Music, you can download music or stream music. Free online courses from Gale. Mango Languages, if you wanted to learn a new language. Learning Express, and like you said, the Libby and Overdrive for ebooks and e-audio.
We all learned recently how sometimes you have to go virtual, and it's totally virtual, so I can't imagine how a library worked with that, since so much of it is in person. And what kind of programs do you run? You run so many, but what are some kind of highlights?
We have our monthly book club, and then we have our movie book club, which Lindsey runs.
Yep, Movie Night Book Club. It was came out of a want to trying to transition some of our movie patrons into reading patrons. So the concept behind Movie Night Book Club is you borrow the book and the corresponding movie that was made after the book, and you read and watch before the meeting, come in together, and we discuss the differences between the book and the movie, what we liked and didn't like, if the characters changes, things like that. So that was just something, a little twist on a traditional book club that we wanted to hopefully transition some people into being more readers. I know a lot of people, I myself don't have a lot of time, but I am a movie person, so this has really inspired me to read more as well. So hopefully we're getting some more patrons for that. Our book club is pretty successful, but the Movie Night Book Club is still kind of picking up. So
Is the book always better than the movie?
no, the book is not always better than the movie. I'll tell you one example. Forrest Gump is a much, much, much better movie than it is a book.
Okay.
So no, it's not always what it seems to be at all. So
See, a librarian said it. We have proof now. And what about, you talked a little about some of your kids' programs, but you have some incredibly popular ones like Curious Creatures. You bring service animals in sometimes. How does that usually go?
Summertime programming, the children's department really beefs up their programs during the summertime because part of their budget comes from the Lynn Cultural Council. So they have a specific budget for those summertime programs. So that's when we bring in Curious Creatures or other performers. We've had Ed the Wizard come, among other different types of performers. But overall, they have some pretty interesting monthly programs. Wednesday mornings, they do messy mornings, so it's story time and a craft time afterward. They also have monthly pajama story time in the evenings. They have Lego night where kids can come in with Legos. We have a family game night, so families are welcome to come in and play games together, some of the games that we have at the library. So those are some of the programs that Children's does on a monthly basis. Our teens have monthly programs. They do video game club twice a month, so kids can come in the afternoon, play video games from what we have from our collection. We also have a graphic novel book club. And our teen tech space is generally open on Thursday afternoon. So that's a time that teens can come in anytime after school and sit and actually get their hands involved in some of the tech options that we have in that room.
Sweet. That all sounds like fun. I would do that. I'd get into that. And why do you think it is so important to involve such a wide age range in the library?
Well, we serve the entire community, so you know, we want to bring everyone in and offer what the community is asking for, and sort of a place to get together and the community to get together. And with the book clubs, I know sometimes I'm like, what's all that noise? They're having so much fun. But it really is just about community.
Yeah, I think it's good to offer something, and you know, an alternative for kids to have something to do after school instead of just heading home, or exactly a free option within the city. You know, just a place that they can sit and do their homework or use the computers. Even if they want to do something like entertaining, like playing a game or something, at least they're doing something constructive after school.
And we really do have to thank the Friends of the Lynn Public Library for donating the money and the supplies to do these programs.
Friends just recently ran a program about the craft fair, so it seems like there's a good group of volunteers there to really help with it.
Yeah, that was a really great success. I did a lot of my Christmas shopping there.
Okay, I did too, so.
Yeah, we're actually just kind of revitalizing our friends group. They kind of died off a little bit during the pandemic years. So just about a year ago, we made the effort to revitalize the group. We have a good group of really interested and involved volunteers. Most of them are patrons, regular patrons of the library, so they have an invested interest in the library. So we've only had a couple of fundraisers so far, but we definitely have some more fundraisers in the works, and all of those proceeds go to programming or program supplies at the library.
And we're always looking for friends.
Yes, join the friends.
It sounds like a fantastic group, and I said we're going to be, amazingly enough, heading into a new year in about a month. So is there anything that you're really looking forward to for the next year, or goals you have? Or?
I mean, goals for the library, I would say, for me, anytime we can come up with, you know, good, solid programming for adults, I will say children are kind of easy to please sometimes, but adults are a little more fickle. We're always trying to come up with new program ideas to draw in more adults, but we're always open to hearing from what the community has, what they want. We put out surveys a couple of times a year just to see what people are interested in. So, you know, feedback is everything, and if patrons want to see something at the library, let us know, and we'll see what we can do to try to, you know, find a program that works for everybody.
Or if we could go out into the community to share and sign you up for library services. We've done a couple of things at Lucille's and Bentwater.
Yes.
With Nicole Coates, who's the adult services librarian. So we're happy to come out into the community and sign you up for a library card and recommend some books.
Yeah, so for going into the new year, I would like, you know, hopefully that we can get out into the community more and reach patrons outside, not just in the library, but also outside the library.
Because you, like so many other organizations, really do a lot of collaborating with others as well, you know, group events, things of that nature, like you just mentioned with Bentwater and such.
I visit the senior center. I try to do once a month if we can. We've had a little bit of a lull, but I work pretty closely with Michelle at the senior center, and just recently went to one of her computer classes, signed up about 5 seniors for library programs, and they're very excited about using our online language programs to teach English.
I'm thinking that'd be a good thing for me to sign up for. I keep saying I want to learn Spanish
You can
better.
even learn pirate.
There we go.
You can.
I'm going to do it.
We also have a homebound program that we do to reach residents that aren't able to leave their house. So we'll deliver books and audiobooks and movies to them. So
yeah. So if anyone knows of a family member or somebody who can't get out but loves to read, definitely reach out to the library and we'll see if we can offer homebound services.
That's fantastic. I didn't realize you had that service, so I just learned something as well. And I hate to say we're going to have to wrap up in a moment, but is there anything that you didn't get to mention or that I didn't touch on that you wanted to?
Just some other things that maybe people we don't realize that we offer. One of the biggest resources that we have is discount museum passes. If you want to visit the aquarium, the Museum of Science, the Children's Museum, both the Boston Children's Museum and the North Shore Children's Museum, the zoo, Definitely check to see if the library has a discount pass for the day that you want to go first. They're available to patrons who are Lynn residents who are 18 years or older. So all you have to do is know the date that you want to go. You can book up to 2 months in advance, and then you pick up the pass usually the week before you go, but it does decrease the cost that it takes to go into these places. Museum of Science is completely free for 4 people if you get the pass from the library. Everyone else is a discount. But anytime I see a friend going to a museum, I'm like, did you get your library pass? But that's probably the number one I can think of that people don't necessarily think of before visiting one of those attractions. So I would recommend checking that out.
I definitely see. Now I want to go and check
We
that
also
out.
have hotspots and Chromebooks and portable scanners that can be checked out by patrons.
Yeah, so if you're in need of internet access at home or your laptop dies and you need something in a pinch, stop by the library and borrow one of ours.
You do. You have so many resources beyond the books, beyond everything. And I want to thank you again for coming in to talk about it and share some of it.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Now we toss it over to the community calendar. Lynn Animal Control, in collaboration with Bullied Breeds Rescue and All Sentient Beings, will be hosting a microchip clinic from 9 a.m. to 12 at the Parkland Ave Dog Park. Dogs and cats can be microchipped for $20 each, and dog licenses required in the city of Lynn will be available for $10. If registering your pet, be sure to bring their rabies vaccination records. Parkland Park dog tags, required for use of the dog park, can also be purchased for a $25 yearly fee. Any questions should be directed to Lynn Animal Control or the City of Lynn dog officer. Next week, from January 8th to the 14th, Christmas tree and leaf and yard waste curbside pickup will occur with your regularly scheduled trash day. Yard waste should be placed in paper leaf bags or loose in a designated barrel. Acceptable items are leaves, grass, plants, branches less than 3 feet long, as well as barrels or bags less than 32 gallons or 50 pounds. Items that are not allowed are decorations, trees in bags, artificial trees, or tree stands, to name a few. Saturday the 13th, the Department of Public Works is running a plastic and textile drive from 9 a.m. to noon. This will be the first drive of the year and the only one until April 20th. Single-use caps and lids of all shapes and sizes, as well as textiles you're ready to donate to upcycling, are all welcome. The textiles must be clean, dry, and bagged to be accepted. Come down to give new life to your old items. That brings us to the end of the news for this week. To see our full community calendar and stay up to date on breaking news, visit lyntv.org. Also, follow us on social media for announcements, links to videos, and press releases. And go to Lynn Community Television on YouTube for member content, news, and interviews. I'm Dani Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, Rehabilitation Hospital of New England. North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree. And Leo Inc., your local community action agency.